I'll be dead and gone before we win the next one.
Yeah.
Do you realize that? I don't care how much IMG people they recruit. I'll be dead and gone.
Does it bother you?
Yeah, that's what I know. Oh, you're not. Oh, you.
It bothers me.
Does it? I'll go over here then.
Okay.
Go watch through the window.
Am I kidding?
Really? Yes, you are.
Does it look like I'm kidding?
Sorta.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, you're live. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Red Hair Brewery. My name's Chuck Burge, and we're here with Mr. Luke Zammit and Rusty, the legend Phillips. And we are the three guys who are talking sports today, the three guys who love sports. Again, we're at Red Hair Brewery. This show exists for a friend of mine that is suffering from prostate cancer, and the only way we can get him to talk about something other than prostate cancer is talk about sports. So he's not the only one out there that's suffering from this. There are other men that are having ailments that need this distraction as well. So that's why we're here. So Luke, Rusty, welcome aboard today. We are going to be talking about a plethora of subjects today. A little bit about the Super Bowl, a little bit about Luke, who will be attending the Air Force Academy this fall, and we'll also be talking some about the transfer portal in college football. So three very fun subjects to talk about today. We want your opinions too. You can obviously text in at 470-7-SPORTS, 470-7-SPORTS. And for you Georgia Bulldog fans that can't read letters, that's 470-777-6787, 470-777-6787. That being said, let's get into it. What did you think about the Super Bowl? My personal opinion, a little weak. It wasn't exciting as I thought it would be. Not a lot of long passes. There were a couple of long passes. It was pretty boring. I thought the officiating was horrible. It seemed like they didn't throw a flag the whole game, and then the next thing you know, on the Raiders' last drive, they threw a flag every play. Some deserving, some not so deserving, but that's the way it is with every football game. In the end, I think the face mask on Patrick Ramsey, the defensive back?
It was
Jalen Ramsey, yeah, thank you. Speak up, boy. Jalen Ramsey, and that kind of balanced out I think the bad touchdown that the Bengals matched. So it all balanced out. So in the end, I think we had a loud motorcycle going by. So in the end, I think the game wound up the way it was supposed to be. I just wasn't happy. I had the Bengals 34-31, and they won 20. What was the score, Legend?
23-20. Georgia Bulldogs in the Super Bowl.
No, 23-20 Rams. And that being said, we have a $25 gift certificate going out to David Jenkins of Orlando, Florida, who texted in the score for the closest prediction that we had. What did he say, Larry? 27-21?
Yeah.
27-21. So he's going to win the $25 gift
That was close.
certificate.
That was close. I mean, that would be considered over. That's okay. He win.
It's as close as anybody else gets. What did you send in guess, Legend?
I said it was going to be close.
Did you send in a text?
I did not.
Well, there you go. Then that's why you
That's
might
to
win.
that guy, you know. Hey, it was close.
So what did you think about the game, Russ?
Well, I just think, the Georgia Bulldogs won the national championship, and since the Los Angeles Rams had a lot of Georgia players, so Georgia won the Super Bowl also. But I don't know what the hell you're thinking, Chuck. It really never is boring. It never really was boring. What I watched, I thought it was good. I like one that I wanted ground and pound. I mean, I want to see good defense and good offense. And that's just how I am. I don't like a Super Bowl where you got a lot of you throw it downfield and they win 60-9.
Like the Pro Bowl.
I don't like the Pro Bowl. Don't watch it anymore. But anyway, I like a ground and pound. The score at 23-20 was about what I thought. I thought it was going to be a field goal. Pretty much was.
I thought it was a little bit lower than what I anticipated. I got several prop bets right. I had the 1.5 was the overall, or was the over and under for how many field goals McPherson would attempt. I got that right. 2.5 was the over under for how many people would throw a pass. So I would have got that right because who was it? Joe Mixon threw the touchdown pass to somebody. It was a hell of a throw. I mean, I see quarterbacks who won't make that throw. like a usual Georgia Bulldog, but they actually made that throw. It was really cool. The other one I missed, I took the over, which was 48.5. And then I had Cincinnati plus the 4.5 points. So I feel like I did pretty good. I missed one bet. Now, Luke is an offensive lineman, you know right? Going to the Air Force. Please don't call me sir. I'm not. Today we're just Luke and Chuck. All right. All right. So Luke is going to be an offensive lineman at the Air Force Academy. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. When you watch a ball game, do you watch the what do you call them, the skill positions, or do you watch the offensive guard?
You know, until the ball is thrown or until the running back's a couple yards down the field, I'm definitely watching it down in the trenches because that's really where football, that's the game right there. So I'm watching a lot of offensive game.
And do you learn anything when you watch these guys?
You know, I think so, because those guys are the best of the best. And you're watching their techniques, how they attack the D-line, how they play the game. So, you know, if you're not learning something, then you're doing something wrong.
That's awesome. Now, who did you pick to win the game, or did you care?
I didn't really care. I wanted the Rams to win. I thought the Rams were going to win because they're just a better team. I'm happy Matthew Stafford finally got his ring. I thought that
You know he's a Georgia Bulldog.
yeah, I know, but he's also a Detroit Lion.
It was about time because he didn't win a national championship.
He didn't win anything in Detroit.
But I thought it was going to be a little bit more high-powered in the game. I thought the Bengals offense was going to show up a bit more, and the Rams defense in the first half was barely there. I wasn't really expecting that.
They stopped the running game. The Cincinnati stopped the Los Angeles running game. Well, they had like 40 yards on 25 carries or something like that. It was amazing until the last drive. They really shut down there. I was a little blown away. What did you think about the call when Jalen Ramsey, when he got his face mask call?
Well, you know, I'm just going to say, you know, the refs, I don't care if it's high school, college, or pro, or SAR. I mean, I have no idea what they do. To me, I mean, when I watch college football, I'm a college football fan, and I can see when the refs, they're never in position. They're always got their head up, not down at the play, and they miss 90% of the calls, and I guarantee he missed that one. There's no doubt in my mind that he wasn't looking at that play, and they had no idea, and none of the other nitwits out there knew what was going on.
Nobody had the angle they needed.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's kind of wild. Yeah. But do you really want to take the human element out of football? I mean, like baseball, we're talking about going to an automated strike zone. I don't want that. I think it changes the game when you take it. I hate reviews. I mean, you can sit and watch a football game and they have 10 reviews, and it just makes the football game so long. People are going to make mistakes. Players are going to make mistakes. Coaches are going to make mistakes. Referees are going to make mistakes. Do you just live with it and move on?
Well, to me, if they would train them better, I think they wouldn't make as many mistakes as they do. I just, you know, as many referees you got on that field, somebody needs to look at something, and they do not. And that would be me. Train them better, and I will agree with you. But since they, you know, whatever they don't do, they need to do it better.
Yeah.
Which is train.
They actually have some.
They need to go to camp just like the football players do. I feel sure Lucas got to be going to a summer camp to get ready for the season. They need to go to a summer camp too.
I think the refs do go to camp stuff.
Well, they obviously they must not be going to the right camp. They must not be going to the right camp. It's nice.
There's so much movement going on in football, and I won't say anything to Luke because I think you can call offensive holding on every play if you really want to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's those that know what they're doing, know how to hold to not get called. Those are the ones the most important, right? That's why Luke's so good. But getting back to the Super Bowl, I was happy to see Cooper Kupp get the MVP. I really think he won it on the 4th and 1 play when he did the little run around, the little in around on the 4th play. I just don't think Matthew Stafford deserved it because of the 2 interceptions. And I know one of them wasn't his fault. I know the one he threw in the end zone to me was just a bad throw. But it was 3rd and what? 18 or something like that. So it'll end up being more like a punt than anything else. But still, I don't think you can do that and win the MVP. I did think that's only the 4th or 5th Super Bowl that the team with the most turnovers has ever won. Which I found very odd. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah. So that was kind of bizarre. Halftime show. In my opinion, if they had high school marching bands come on and march and play a couple of songs, I'm done. Let's play football again. Right? I'll watch football. How did this music get so wrapped up in football? I mean, I just want football. When I watch football, it's football.
Well, watching the national championship college when they had Katy Perry, I mean, I'm sitting there going, you had two beautiful bands, college bands of Alabama's and Georgia's. Let them pay. I mean, if I want to, I felt like there was a porno halftime show from Katy Perry, and it's like, what in the world is going on here?
She wasn't on this halftime show.
No, she was on the college one, but I'm just saying, to me, I'm like you, do something else other than that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I
thought it was bad.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I looked at Facebook the next day, and half the reviews were, this is the best halftime show I've ever seen, and the other half were, this show sucked. I can't stand it. I don't want to be on this at all. So it's a different animal now, the NFL, and we talked last week about the 4 teams that have never been to the Super Bowl. Did I ask you this question, Rusty?
You did not. But it was funny. My son was talking about it, and I think we named about 2 or 3.
There's 4. Look, do you know any of them?
The Browns, the Lions, the Jaguars, and I want to say the Houston Texans.
And you think you're the legend?
Well,
he's all over here.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, the Houston Oilers.
Oilers win. Well, actually, the Titans win it too.
Yeah.
The Titans played in the best Super Bowl ever.
Yeah.
It's played here in Atlanta, where they stopped the receiver. The Rams stopped the receiver at the 1-foot line. They would have given the Titans a championship.
See, I missed the Texans.
The Browns and the Lions are one that really wouldn't make. The Browns are number 1 because I said surely Jim Brown won the Super Bowl, but Jim Brown was pre-Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He won the national football championship, but it wasn't the Super Bowl at that time.
They got close a few times, a few AFC championships that came down to like the last drive with John Elway.
Yeah.
The drive and the fumble, 2 of the most famous plays.
And there's 2 teams, and we haven't talked about this yet on 3 Guys Who Love Sports. 2 teams that have gone 0-4 in the Super Bowl. Can you name them?
Bills.
Bills are 1, yeah.
This guy's coming back. It looks all over this. We can't leave it. The Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 teams that have never won the Super Bowl, but they've played 4 times. So Falcons are only 0-2, right? They lost to Denver in '97 or something like that, and then the fiasco to the Patriots in 17 or 18, whenever it was. So hopefully we'll get a Super Bowl here before I croak.
Yeah, not in my lifetime.
Not in our
never
lifetime.
gonna happen. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know if the Falcons. I'd like to see the Falcons. It seems like every year you want them to draft defensive players, and that's what I want to do this year. I want them to get I'd love to see them get this kid from Michigan. I can't even think of his last name.
And Hutchinson.
Yeah, Hutchinson, the defensive end. He's better than that. And then
Luke could handle him. I know the Georgia offensive lineman did. He's not that good.
And then Anderson, Will Anderson from Alabama, the linebacker. So I would love to see the Falcons get one of those guys, but we'll see what happens. We want to thank our friend Luke for sitting in today. He's going to come back in just a second, but we got Mr. Michael coming in from Red Hair Brewery, our host here at Red Hair today. Michael has a beer that he's going to talk about, but Michael, last week we talked about a chocolate coconut rum, and I sampled it there, and I told Larry, I said, if I drink the whole glass, I'm not going to be able to talk sports for an hour. So tell us how the chocolate coconut rum went over for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And what have you got here with you today?
Absolutely. So it went awesome. We do still have a handful of bottles left if you all are interested. We've also got 2 fun cocktails with it. We kind of got like a little bit of a spin-off of a pina colada. It tastes closer, in my opinion, it kind of tastes like a pineapple upside down cake, but it's good. And then we have another cocktail called the Neapolitan. So it's got some vanilla stuff in there, some strawberry stuff in there, and then the chocolate from the rum. So just like Neapolitan ice cream. A little biased, but I came up with that cocktail, so it's my favorite one on the menu right now. But yeah, they are available for purchase at both of our locations here in Marietta, so definitely come check that out. Beer-wise, I'm drinking Rewired, which is our kind of standard flagship IPA, but I thought you all would get a kick out of the beer that we're putting on tap tomorrow. So it is going to be a cherry stout, and it's named after one of my favorite comedians. The name of the beer is Cherry Seinfeld. So if anybody wants to...
It's a drink about nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a drink about nothing. Spot on. So if you guys are bored, come by the tap room. We do trivia on Thursday nights. Come draw some Cherry Seinfeld, and thanks for having me, guys.
Cherry Seinfeld, I love that.
Yeah.
I should have thought of that. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for being here.
Appreciate your hospitality here.
Yeah, cheers, y'all.
So that's great. Cherry Seinfeld.
Cherry Seinfeld. I like that guy anyway.
I drink Cherry Seinfeld. That'd be awesome.
I mean, the Neapolitan or whatever that was.
Neapolitan?
Yeah, I had the ice cream. What good? I hope the drink better than the ice cream I had. So there
I'm
you
sure
go.
it is coming from Red Hair.
There you go.
All right, so we talked a little bit about the Super Bowl, and once again, congratulations to David Jenkins of Orlando, Florida, for winning the $25 gift card. And now we're going to switch into more college football. This man on my left, Mr. Luke Zammit, my left, your right, has been through the gamut. Luke will be attending the Air Force Academy in the fall. He just told me he goes the 3rd week of June for training. But Luke, I want to hear about your ride. Luke was recruited here in Marietta and went to the IMG Academy, what, 3 years?
2 years.
2 years. And then you came back and had your senior year here, right?
Right.
See, I've been following this guy. So I want you to tell me about playing football when you were first recruited by IMG, how you got recruited, and Rusty and I have many, many questions for you. How many schools you get recruited by, and where do we go from here? So tell us about the college process and the recruiting process.
Sure, sounds good. So my freshman year, I was about 6'4", 250 pounds already. But it was only my first year playing offensive line. I really didn't know what to do. I just kind of put my head down and pushed people. And after my freshman season, I really started taking it seriously, training, going to camps and all that. And IMG Academy has summer camps where they train people. And I reached out to the offensive coordinator at the time, inquiring about camps, and they said, well, screw a camp, like, when do you come down to play for us? And, I thought that was like an incredible opportunity because, everyone knows about IMG Academy.
Is it just a high school?
It is. It's a college prep school, but everyone that goes there are athletes, and almost all of them end up playing college sports of some kind.
Me and you couldn't do it.
No, I would have never got in just because of my grades.
But yeah, like my sophomore year, a bunch of guys on the basketball team are already playing in the NBA, and a lot of the football guys are on the path to NFL success. So it was really cool.
What's the percentage of the graduates from IMG that make it to the pros?
Definitely a lot higher than any other high school.
Yeah.
I think we had 7 guys drafted into the NFL last year.
Did you play with?
Not that I played with, because they were there a few years before me.
Okay. That's like they're very college.
Right. One of the guys that I met, Evan Neal, he was projected top 5 pick this year, though. He graduated the semester before I got there.
Who was he at college?
Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Starting left tackle there.
Like Blue Anderson.
Yep. And, they have such a good pedigree with high-level college football, and now starting to get to the NFL. It's really awesome.
So who was the first college that contacted you?
So you can't really technically be talk to coaches September 1st of your junior year. But, you know, there's workarounds to that, obviously. And actually, right when quarantine started in March of 2020, I received a message from my head coach that Brown University was interested in me, which was really exciting.
I know the school, right?
Out of the school, that's right. And he said that he wanted to have a FaceTime with me. So the coach, well, my coach, and my coach added me to that FaceTime, and he offered me right there. So that was spring my sophomore year.
Wow. And that was your first one.
That was the first one.
And then the college visitation rules, how does that work? How many, are you limited to the number of schools you can visit?
No. The only limit that you have is your official one. So you get 5 official visits.
To each school?
To any 5 total.
Okay, so you can only visit 5 schools.
Officially, which means that the school pays for you, so they can fly you out there, all this stuff, pay for your food. But you can take as many unofficial visits as you want. Now, these unofficial visits are still official. Like you know, the coaches know you're coming. They have all these different things set up for you, but you just have to pay your own way.
How many did you go to?
Not too many, only because of COVID restrictions. I think 5 or 6. And I really didn't have too much interest in visiting schools that, you know, I knew I was going to go for.
Waste of time, right?
Right. Wasting years. The only one that I went on where I knew I wasn't going to go was Georgia State, and that was because I took a couple of my friends on that. Because they might have had a chance, and one of them actually was committed to that.
Other than football stuff, what they think of, I hate that football.
The facilities besides the stadium are actually really nice.
Are they really?
Yeah, surprisingly. It's a good time.
So, you visited Georgia State. Did you visit Brown?
I never got the chance to.
You never got to go to Brown. What are the other schools that you visited?
I visited Army West Point, the Air Force Academy. I visited FAU, down in Boca Raton.
Florida Atlantic? Owls?
The Owls, yes sir. And I had a couple others planned. I went to see Richmond University up in Virginia as well. The Spiders, yeah, that was amazing.
That was good?
Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. I'd already committed to Air Force at that time, but I went on a visit 2 weeks later to Richmond, and I almost flipped.
You committed?
Almost. It was just so amazing. I had a few others planned, but I just never got around to it just because of money and time.
Yeah. So you say you like the Richmond Visit Prettiest Camp? Because Air Force Academy got to be Georgia.
It is.
Is it Boulder, is that where it is?
Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There's a lot of natural beauty there. Richmond is more architectural beauty and really good history.
So what was your final decision? What made you choose Air Force Academy?
Well, I think I knew I wanted to go to Air Force from the beginning. I wanted to be a pilot since I was a little kid. My family was served. You know, it really worked out well. And then I started growing, and I thought, well, I'm not going to be able to fit in a fighter jet, so I need to start looking elsewhere. But the height restrictions got changed, and yeah, it all worked out for me.
So that's what you wanted to become a pilot. So what is the commitment in the Air Force? Once you do 4 years of school, and then you had 2 years, is that right?
It's 5 years for everybody, and then if you go pilot, you have to serve 10 years. Because the flight training alone is $2-3 million. So they want.
So you do 4 years at the academy, then you got 10 more years in the Air Force?
Yes.
Wow. And number one, thank you for your service. Yeah, way ahead of time. That's really good. Yeah. No Georgia Bulldogs doing that. Oh, there you go. All right. Russ, you got any questions for?
You know, it's just, you know, it's good to actually see guys that get recruited, you know, at Air Force Academy. My question was, I had a cousin that played defense in Dalton High School, and he walked on it all. But what I told him, and I don't know if you did this, but did you go to any college camps during your thing? Like I know Georgia has one every year, Alabama. Did you go to any of those things to really get noticed?
Yeah, I sure did. So that's one of the biggest ways that people get noticed is going to those camps. But a big mistake that people do, you know, not everybody's good enough to go play at Alabama, Georgia, or Clemson, but so many people go to those camps and waste time and money when they could be going to one of the best things to do is mega camp. So Kennesaw State has a really good mega camp, and 200, 300 schools will come from all over the country and go watch guys work out at Kennesaw State. And I have guys that I'm friends with that got 5, 6 offers on that day down there
At the camp?
At the camp.
Wow.
So that's a really good way to go. I didn't attend too many of those camps, once again, because COVID screwed a lot of things up. I attended Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, and FAU.
So why didn't you go over the time? My goodness. I mean, I hear that campus is right on the beach.
It is. It's really nice.
I mean, I tried to get my son to go there when he graduated from Cal, and yeah, he just wouldn't do it. I mean, I'm thinking, oh my goodness.
You were Alaska?
Oh,
Yeah.
Greyhounds, yeah.
Right. FAU was really amazing. I knew my 4 years, I probably had the best time at FAU from any of the schools at all. But the thing when you're making that college commitment is it's not a 4-year decision, it's 40-year decision. That college choice really impacts the rest of your life. And I had schools that really gave me some good options for the 40-year. I had Brown, Dartmouth, and then Air Force and West Point. And I really thought, I'll probably have the best time down in FAU. And then, I won't be doing much else for the rest. I don't have this clear, path to success if I don't make the NFL.
So here's the other question, and I know with the surface academies, even West Point, Navy, and Air Force, you got that 4-year commitment. So let's look ahead, Luke, and say, what if you get to be really good, and you're thinking, man, I could make professional. How would that work? Have you really looked at that? How would that work? Do you still have to do the commitment, do a reserve, or because you're a big boy, and you're only going to get bigger and better. So how is that going into your thinking as far as hey, I'm not a professional, so now what happens?
So there's a few things that you can do if you get that chance. Now for Air Force, we had 3 guys make the NFL last year, and Ben Garland, who started at center for the Falcons, started in the Super Bowl for the Niners. He went into the reserves after the Air Force Academy. So he would serve in the off season, take some days out from practice and go, do his reserve stuff. But now it's actually a lot easier. So you can defer your service until after you're done with your professional career, which has really opened up a lot of opportunities for guys to get drafted because schools were really hesitant, to draft guys from the search companies because they're going to go serve 4 years and you never know what's going to happen. Like Alejandro Villanueva, the left tackle for the Steelers, he would have probably been first, second round pick if he went to any other school with different rules, but he had to go complete his service where he was an Army Ranger actually, and then the Steelers picked him a few years later. But now you can get straight professional.
So, like, you play football like 6 months, the other 6 months you're in the service, you play 6 months, like if you got 10 years, does that take off from the 10 years? So now you only got 9.5 years after you play football season?
I think so. Now for the 10 years, that's if you go to pilot training or anything like that. And that's after you graduate from the academy. And if you're going professional, you go straight after you graduate. So I'd probably alter my career choice a little bit, if that would be an option.
Yeah, but I got another question.
Go ahead.
What's your favorite stadium you've ever played in? And the favorite one you've ever visited?
Favorite one I've ever visited? Probably Mercedes-Benz, and I know it's not far away, but it's just a beautiful stadium.
Have you been down in the locker rooms and all that stuff?
I didn't get the chance.
It's fantastic.
I'm sure.
I hooked you up.
Awesome. But their stadium playing was IMG Academy. I played there for 2 years, and that's really awesome. It's a really cool place, especially for a high school football stadium.
Did they have like high school football stadiums at like the playoffs? Did they have them like at Raymond James or anything?
No. So IMG actually wasn't allowed to do playoffs until this year because they're very open about recruiting and bringing guys in. And the FHSA, which is the Florida High School Sports Association, they just didn't want to do that. But
So they're not allowed to play in the playoffs?
they weren't. Now, there's 4 varsity teams at IMU. So there's the national team, which is the one that everyone knows about. There's the state team. Well, there's actually 2 state teams now. One is like the JV, and then there's the postgraduate team. So the postgraduate team and the main state team, they're now going to the playoffs, which is really cool. So I know the state team made it to the state championship this year.
And how often do you get penalized?
Me?
Yeah.
Now my sophomore year, when I really was playing a lot of varsity football, and I was still pretty new to it, I'd probably get a holding penalty once a game. This year I had 1 holding penalty that I protested strongly, and I think I had 1 or 2 false starts, but I'm pretty happy. I let up, I think, 1 sack the whole season. I had 76 pancakes and only 1 holding penalty, so I don't think too much compared to other guys.
You love pancakes, huh?
You know, I don't know. I was at that Cal Pope game, and you know, what number were you?
73.
Yeah, we probably have more than y'all got them pretty good. So, yeah.
And how did Pope do in the States?
So this was our 2nd best year in school history, so I'm going to preface that. We did lose in the first round by 30 points. But
Who beat you?
Tequila.
Okay.
And they ended up losing to Buford before state. It was a pretty close game until halftime. Halftime it was 6-7, and then they just went on the street. There wasn't too much we could do. They had a lot of talent. I think 5 or 6 of the guys had Power 5 offers.
Last question before we bring on our sponsor for the day. What do you do between now and when you go to camp?
I'm just working out, trying to stay in football shape, which is pretty tough to do when you're out in the season, but I go up and do some offensive line specific drills up in Cartersville. There's a facility that works with offensive and defensive line, and they have a college prep group with guys in the area, and we all work out together. So there's a guy going to South Carolina, Georgia Tech, Oklahoma State, 2 guys go to Marshall, 1 go to Oregon, and then 1 go to and we're all working out together for an afternoon.
Okay, I lied. I got one more question. Which stadium do you want to play in?
I want to play at the Big House, Michigan.
In Michigan?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's the one stadium I want to go to that I've never been to.
I hear something.
Oh, yeah. It kind of sinks down in the ground from what I hear. It's not it doesn't sit up like a stadium. It's kind of down into the ground. I went to Lambeau Field, and to me that was the mecca of football. To me, Lambeau Field. But I'd love to see that. Yeah, you hit?
No, I've never been.
Fabulous.
That's on my bucket list.
Is it?
That's on my bucket list.
We'll talk. I can get
That's
some.
on my bucket list.
All right. Next time the Falcons go, we'll go. How's that?
All right, sounds
Is that the deal?
Absolutely.
All right. Luke,
And I'm not even a Falcon fan, so I'll bring my Green Bay.
doesn't matter. Step out and let Yvonne come in here and give us a little word about her winning. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Luke Zammit, and she's going to tell us about her new law firm.
Hi, Chuck. How are you?
How's anybody ever been in?
Oh, love it. Yes, I have joined Hobson & Hobson, a Marietta divorce family law firm, and I'm so excited. I am the director of legal, and it's a firm dedicated to assisting folks going through the worst time of their lives: divorce, family crisis, child custody issues.
Been there, done that.
I'm with you, but the goal of, the good lawyer is the one that actually can help you get through that with as little angst as possible and see the brightness on the other side. So we have Hobson do that.
And how can people reach you?
You can go on the website, hobsonhobson.com, Hobson Legal,
Is that HOBSON?
HOBSON. Absolutely, but we're in downtown Marietta, and we're obviously serve people all over the metro Atlanta area and have offices easily reachable in Canton,
So you probably spend a lot of time with the red hair up on the square.
I definitely will, or I will be in Colorado Springs for every Air Force game that is.
I think she ought to take us to
Yeah,
a
hey,
game.
well, I agree with that. Hey, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So, you got a son now going to scholarship, and he's going to a service academy.
Sir.
How does that make you feel that, hey, if he doesn't go pro, I think he's going to go pro. That's just my opinion. But, you know, that he's going to go into the armed services. How does that make mom feel?
I could not be prouder. I am just, when you first got the offer, we were on Zoom, right? Because COVID and whatnot. I started crying like a baby. His father started crying like a baby. We were just emotionally
I've been watching out
it's an incredible honor, and it's everything he's ever wanted to do. When you consider children being able to achieve the goal of that they've had since they were little, to serve their country, to be a pilot, to fly, to play football, oh my gosh, it's everything. So incredibly proud.
Well, he's going to get a great education. I mean, that's the thing about the service academies is they may not be all that, you know, the sports thing, but it's a great education. A great education.
Have you seen their first football this year? They rocked it. They're awesome.
Well, they could be wrong.
Absolutely, thank you.
You bet. All right, look, I came up with another question. And we can just call this the Luke Show because I got plenty of stuff on. One of the things I've heard, and you know, talking about you almost flipped between was it Richmond and the Air Force Academy. Is it true that you can't transfer from one academy to the other?
I believe that it's very difficult. I think there's ways to do it. You know, I don't have any plan of doing that, so I haven't looked too much into it. But it's definitely not as easy as, you know, other schools.
And what do you think about the transfer portal as a whole? Do you think it's good for college football? Do you think it's bad for college football?
For college football, I think it's really bad. However, for the college athletes, I think it's a good thing. You know, I have a lot of friends playing college football. I have friends that are in the transfer portal that have gone through that process. I think the biggest problem, you know, that I see with it is it takes away so much from guys in high school with their recruiting. Because right now, a lot of schools, they're recruiting the transfer portal. They're not recruiting, you know, high school seniors, high school juniors. They're looking at the transfer portal for their guys, which, you know, as viewing college football as a whole, that's all right for a little while. But once you get to the point where, you know, all these guys that are not being recruited that are, you know, really talented, like Cooper Kupp, this is your star receiver. Right now, I don't know if he'd get in Eastern Washington offer and, you know, have that opportunity to play because the transfer portal. Smaller schools like that especially don't have the recruiting budget to go all across the country and look at guys. So they look at the transfer portal and they have all that information right there. And that's really great.
I would have never thought of that taking away from the high school days. That's a great point. Yeah. I'm not a big fan either. I mean, there's always been money in college football. Always been money in college football. And there probably always will be money in college football. And you get into the SEC, we probably got more money. And that's why the SEC, and I hate to say this, is probably more dominant because they got the most money to spend on these players. Just for me, I'm very old school. And the Beach Boys saying, be true to your school. How can you be true to your school and then switch and go somewhere else? Like Jahmyr Gibbs at Georgia Tech, I hate you. How can you leave and go to Alabama after my Jackets recruited you? I just don't get that. There are good points about the transfer portal, I guess, for the players, like you said. But if the coaches can do it, can the players, Rusty?
I personally think they could. I mean, it's funny. It's funny when it comes to the. I mean, I agree with you, Luke, about the transfer. I totally agree with what you just said. It does take away, but here's what you could also look at as far as the transfer portal is that normally college football, you're going to build it up to be more of a junior senior program when you've got a lot of upperclassmen playing. When you've got a big senior class and you're coming off a big winning season, normally those teams have that losing record. Now they can kind of be like the professionals and say, hey, we're going to go out and get players for offensive line, defensive line, safeties, quarterback, and they're not going to hopefully lose that where they got to rebuild with freshmen and sophomores. It's very hard for a college program to have freshmen and sophomores as their starting guards team to do that. They normally don't have a winning record unless they have some good upperclassmen still there. But I mean, coaches have been doing it for years. And matter of fact, when they leave a job, they go get a better job and make more money. And my thing is why don't you let the college athletes, if they want to go to a better school, I don't blame Jameer Gibbs for going to Alabama. I would do the same thing. I'm on a losing program in Tech. Let me go to a winning program at Alabama, where I'm going to be, because they just lost their running back with a senior this year. He's going to come in and light the SEC up.
He's going to be the guy.
I saw him in high school at Dalton High School, one of the best high school running backs I have ever seen come from Dalton High School. And believe you me, there's been a lot come from there because I was born and raised in Dalton, and I got to see a lot of them. So, I mean, he is going to light the SEC. I wish he'd gone to Georgia. I really do. But, he chose Alabama. Good for him. I mean, he goes from a losing program to a hopefully probably going to win a national championship. They're going to be there again. So I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. And because how it used to be is you'd have to sit out a year to do that.
Yeah.
And to me, I think you're punishing the kids for having to sit out for a year. And the coaches, they don't get to sit out a year. They make that money. And I mean, how would you like for Brian Kelly, who just left Notre Dame, to sit out a year at LSU? That's not going to happen.
But you need a coach.
Well, that is true. I mean, they don't have one now. I mean, Brian Kelly, for crying out loud. I mean, what the hell are they thinking? So anyway, but that's the thing about this, because I feel sure, Luke, if you're not seeing anything at Air Force Academy, as big as you are at Georgia, we would welcome you with open arms, my friend.
You can actually say so.
You can transfer anytime. We're always looking for good linemen. But I mean, to me, that just gives people like Luke and Jameer Gibbs, and I didn't want to lose our receiver from Georgia. But you know what? If he goes and gets a better situation at Alabama, good for him. I mean, that's his preference. But hey, I don't blame him moving to Georgia Tech. I mean, they wouldn't use him anyway. So there you go.
I see your point on that, but at the same time, college football, there isn't that much parity. Like with the professional leagues, everyone has the same cap space.
There was a lot of parity in the NFL this year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Bengals went from
14 3 years ago.
Yeah, to almost win the Super Bowl. College football, there's always been a struggle for that, and now with name, image, likeness, and the transfer portal, there's nothing that's going to stop SEC schools, Texas, like all these big programs from just really taking everything out of college football. In the ways I mean, there's never going to be, give it 5 years, but there's not going to be FCS schools or FBS schools that are going to be able to compete anymore because of this name, image, likeness, and transfer. I don't really like that so much.
I don't either. But I got another question for Luke. I'm loving this conversation. So, Lincoln Riley left Nebraska, Oklahoma, to go to USC. Do you think he went to USC to help rebuild the Pac-12? Because Pac-12 used to be the conference. I mean, when it was UCLA and USC, it was the conference for a long time, before you and your mom were even born. But it was great schools. And I hated USC and I loved UCLA. But did you go there, of course, or did you just not want to go to the SEC because it was so filled with all these so-called great coaches? And why would you want to be a part of the SEC unless you wanted to go to Southern California and build something?
Part of me thinks, if you have a ton of money and you can enjoy your life, outside of the football season, would you rather live in Norman, Oklahoma, or would you rather live in Los Angeles, California?
I'd rather live in Norman, Oklahoma.
No, but I think that's part of it. I think another part of it is USC has always and will always have such a large fan base and culture surrounding it that whoever's the top dog at USC, a lot of people are going to know about him. He's going to be that guy. And you can do that when you're winning at Oklahoma, but when you're moving to the SEC and you're not winning at Oklahoma, it doesn't look good.
No, so what do you think, Russ?
As Lee Corso would say, not so fast. Not so fast.
The legend is spoken.
Anyway, I mean, is he a football coach? Is he a football coach? I mean, this is the same dude that got into the playoffs, what, 4 or 5 years straight, and got it handed to him. All four. We talked about people that have not won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He didn't even got out of the. He didn't get out of the playoff for crying out.
He got what they played. They played Georgia one year in the Rose Bowl or something.
Yeah.
They went to overtime or something.
And we
Yeah,
absolutely spanked him like his mama did when he was little. I mean, that's exactly what happened. I mean, he couldn't beat anybody, so why in the world am I going to come to the SEC and continue losing to Georgia, continue losing to Alabama, and all the other SEC teams? I don't blame him, because Lord knows Southern Cal is about as sorriest university there is, and UCLA ain't much better. So, I mean, the big, what is that?
Pac-12.
Pac-12, whatever. They're sorry football. That is absolutely sorry football. Anyway, but if you had to go to the Pac-12, I would go to Air Force. I would make you go to Air Force.
Is Air Force in the
In the MAC.
In the MAC.
Mountain West.
Mountain West, NWC.
But anyway, but I don't blame him for going to USC, because he was going to get it handed to him in the SEC, and we're going to welcome Texas, because we're going to take their rear end and hand it to them too. So there you go.
There you go. So tell us about your coaches. Who are your coaches?
At the Air Force Academy?
Yeah.
So, head coach is Coach Troy Calhoun, and then the offensive line coach is Steve Lavatsky. Call him Coach Lobo, so I'm ready to butcher that. Both of those guys coached together at Wake Forest for a while. Coach Lobo, he played for Air Force over their best years. They beat Ohio State in a bowl game, a couple 10-win seasons. If the playoffs have been around, and it wasn't just two teams. There was 1 year when they should have made that, but it's there. So it's really cool that these coaches have such a good coaching pedigree, in the world of college football. But also, I think more than half of the staff went to Air Force, played football at Air Force, and that's really cool. That's really unique. You don't see that anywhere else.
Now, was Calhoun a head coach somewhere else? His name is very familiar to me.
He was the offensive coordinator at Wake Forest.
Was he? Recently?
I believe about 15 years ago or something.
Oh, wow. So, has he been in the Air Force that long?
Yep.
Wow. That's
Well, he took him there to school. I mean, that part was nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he took him there to school. Showed you how much he could coach once he left that sorry University of Wake Forest. Maybe the Air Force would find him.
How do you really feel about Wake Forest?
Well, hey, you know what? And I'm going to preface myself. I have a very good friend, Judd Waits, who is an attorney, and he's a Wake Forest graduate. And, just because they have a winning season doesn't mean they're good. But anyway, he's a good guy. Go Demons. Anyway.
I got the great tagline for Judd Waits. Hey, Judd, if you're watching. But I always told Judd, I said, I don't kill often, but when I do, I call Judd Waits.
But anyway, didn't Air Force, wasn't their head coach, Barry Fisher or something like that? They had one of the best coaches, older coaches in college football. I mean, he was really, really good.
Hey guys, at this time each week we usually have Steve Pearson call in with Pearson's Points, but Steve is in Detroit having a procedure done today, so please pray for him if you would. And we have Mr. David Griffith, who's usually on set with us, calling in to give us David's dump for the day. So Dave, what have you heard, buddy? No, actually I went to Georgia Southern, but I still love my Giants. We'll talk. Why? Because the ratio of girls to boys was 7-1 at Georgia Southern. Next question. That's as good as I can give you. Yeah. baseball though, right? Yeah, it's still a sport. No, I didn't say that derogatorily at all. I just said it is college football recruiting. So please share. Wow. Before Luke was born. Yeah. Hey, is there a transfer portal in college baseball?
Well, if you got a good baseball program like Kennesaw State, why would you even want to transfer, for crying out loud? I mean, that before we got football, baseball put KSU on the map.
Yeah.
And that was when I went to that school. I love Georgia, but I graduated from Kennesaw State. That was one of the best things. We had one of the best baseball programs you could ever want. And that's what put us on the map until they got football.
Well, I got to tell you something, Rusty, and you seem to forget this, but only one team can win a championship. There's still some great programs out there that don't win championships. So, Zach, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Well, have you guys got anything else to add to this conversation? Yeah. Okay. you've heard it for the Griffin boys today.
Well,
Guys, thanks for calling in, and we'll see you next week.
yeah, I know, but I don't know what I can do at this point.
All right. So that's a good point, right? If you can play, you can play. If you can't, you can't, right?
Yeah.
So, I never knew that about baseball. Did you know they had a transfer portal?
I don't think I've ever seen a game of baseball in my life.
Okay, well, thanks. Like I said, I think we're
most of
wrapping
the
up.
time though, in college baseball, just like
Okay, thanks.
for those that went to the chamber breakfast on Monday, got to hear from Dansby Swanson. Most of the time with baseball players, I mean, their junior, senior year, they get drafted if they're good enough to be drafted, and they kind of leave, kind of like a football. Football, after your junior year, you can go pro or not, but they get drafted in baseball. So, like you say, and baseball, college baseball's not as big as college football, but most of those kids, if you're good enough to play college baseball, you're going to get drafted somewhere.
I will say this, college football is the best. It is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I would rather watch a college football game than anything in this world. And with the end of the Super Bowl this weekend, it is the most depressing day of the year for me. There will be no more football. But there is USFL starting this year, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think it starts in the spring. Yes.
We're not watching it.
I'm not either, but it's football. I'll watch it instead of something else. Well, guys, we're going to wrap up. Any final words from you, Rusty?
I just want to say, man, this has been awesome. This has really been awesome. I do for those that follow me on my Facebook page, I do a college football Sunday, Monday, Tuesday recap of the Saturday games. So I can't wait till Luke gets the Air Force. Then I'll put his team on my Facebook post. So I got a lot of people that say, why don't you talk about my team? Why don't you talk about my team? Because I have a lot of friends that are Auburn fans for crying out loud, Tech fans for crying out loud, Alabama fans for crying out loud, so I always go and, tease them and rub it in a while, Tennessee fans, anyway, but, so for those that have listened, have read my posts on Facebook, now you get to see who I am, and so you wanted me to do this. It was everybody that's read my thing say you need to do it. So Chuck, thank you for inviting me. I've enjoyed doing it. So
You can come back, but no more Georgia gear.
I will be sure to wear Kennesaw State gear. Anyway, so thank you very much. And Luke, good luck to you, brother. I hope it works out well. I really do. I think you're a great guy. You're a big guy. You're a great guy. Work hard. I want you to start as a freshman. That's my goal for you, to start for a freshman and make your mama proud.
Absolutely. We've already made us proud by being on here, buddy. Good luck, buddy. Appreciate you.